Again. I'm a professor at UW-Madison, as you know. But let's imagine that I were a farmer. A little fantasy. Actually, I tried farming once. It didn't work out very well. But that's a story for another time. Farming is hard. So hard. But let's imagine that I were a farmer. Because if I were, then I've got a problem. A big one. Some professor at UW-Madison, Mike Bell, I think his name is, he calls it the farmer's problem. And I guess so. Just about every farmer I know faces it. As a result, I'm always running, and I never seem to get ahead. My problem goes like this. You know, a lot of what I face is regional. Climate, the market, subsidies. So, if I have a good year, then probably most other farmers like me had a good year too. I'll have plenty to sell, but prices will be bad because lots of farmers have lots to sell too. So I won't make much money. And if I have a bad year, well, probably other farmers like me will have a bad year too. So prices will be pretty good, but I won't have much to sell. So I still don't make a lot. Pay for the tractor. Pay for my farm workers. Pay the mortgage on the land. Pay for my kids' college. Maybe pay for a new pitchfork. The only time I really make good money is when I have a good year and most other farmers like me don't. Woo! A new pickup! Woo! Pay for the house! Woo! Vacation for the whole family! But that just doesn't happen very often. And that's the farmer's problem. To beat the problem, what I usually try to do is increase my production as much as I can. To keep going and going and going. And whether prices are good or bad, I'll have more to sell and generally do a bit better. So I invest in more technology like robotic milkers for my cows or some cool new gene that some company has engineered into corn. And my production goes up. And I do better without affecting overall commodity prices much. Nice. But then those companies, they sell the same stuff to my neighbors. And everyone's production goes up. And then everyone's prices go down. So, then we do it all over again with the latest and greatest technology. Willard Cochran, I think his name was, he called it the treadmill of technology. And yeah, that keeps me running and never really getting ahead. At least not for long. Now there's other ways I might increase production, not just technology, or more land, or get more workers, pay them less. Ignore context and the people of the future and pollute the water and erode the soil and kill off more habitat. You know, basically just screw over environmental justice. So some scholars, Professor Bell tells me, prefer to call my situation the treadmill of production. Now, if I'm the first to do any of these things, it helps my bottom line. But only until other farmers do it all too, or are forced to give up. Get big or get out. That's what they say. More production, fewer farmers. Well, what they call production. Multifunctionality, the public good, caring for each other and the planet. Ooh, it's time for any of that. It sucks. But what else can I do? I know! How about go organic? Double the prices! A 3-year transition period. Quite a different way to farm, a different way to control pests and feed my crops and livestock. You know, there's a lot of new knowledge required, as well as actually a different way to think about who you are as a farmer, which makes it harder for the neighbors to copycat. Nice! Yeah, my production might go down a bit. Might go down. But that's not a bad thing. We have too much milk anyway. Plus, my profit is way bigger. Farmers need to think about profit, not production. They're not the same thing. All of which should slow the treadmill and help with the farmer's problems. Sweet! So I did. I went organic. I joined the crop cooperative over on Lafarge, Wisconsin. What consumers know as Organic Valley. Got much better prices, and I sleep better, knowing I'm kinder to the land. And I love working together with other farmers in a cooperative. Instead of seeing everyone else like me as a competitor, I have to beat into the ground. But I realize there are some issues. Not everyone who wants to gets to join the crop cooperative. I mean, if we flood the market with Organic Valley milk, there goes our higher profits. The treadmill starts up again. And then there are those big organic dairy companies that have been trying to undercut us while they cut corners on the organic standards. And I really don't like how those big companies got political when the organic standards were being set. And they made sure that there are no social dimensions to the standards. Nothing about fair worker pay and fair trade. Nothing about addressing the unjust legacy of who owns farmland in this country. Nothing about keeping it local. And all of that lets the big organic companies do their biggest stuff. And that sucks too. Still, I don't regret it. Actually, organic is better. It doesn't solve the farmer's problem, and it doesn't prevent the farmer's problem from becoming everyone's problem. But it sure as heck helps. A lot.